From Montana's news leader, this is the MTN 530 News.
Let me assure you, COVID-19 is a big deal.
Just one day after Governor Bullock directs most Montanans to wear masks, Health Officer John Felton addresses those who don't want to, as he calls Yellowstone County the epicenter of COVID-19 in Montana. And for those who refuse to don a mask, how will local authorities enforce the state order? And is the new directive even legal? One Montana County attorney says no. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight here on Q2. I'm Jeanelle Slade. Well, 2 more deaths across Montana today as confirmed coronavirus numbers climb and county health systems struggle. Today, another death at Canyon Creek Memory Care here in Billings. This is the 3rd resident this week, the 9th overall at the care facility. A man in his 70s passed away at Canyon Creek this morning. Well, today's second reported death is a Lewis and Clark County resident over the age of 65. It's the county's first confirmed COVID-related death. This brings the state total of deaths to 36 tonight. Active cases across Montana are holding steady at more than 1,440 of those active cases are right here in Yellowstone County. Now, the growing numbers of confirmed cases and deaths in Yellowstone County prompted the county health officer today to reinforce Governor Steve Bullock's mandatory mask order. Q2's Russ Riesinger was at the press conference at Riverstone Health this afternoon and is standing by now in the newsroom with all those details. Russ.
Well, the Yellowstone County Health Officer pushing for everyone to do their part and follow that directive to wear masks when inside public places. John Felton saying the coronavirus is a big deal, no matter what some people may think. We've had 14 deaths in Yellowstone County, and the number of people testing positive is growing by the day. 440 active cases right now, 256 of them coming in just the last week alone.
Right now, all roads lead to Yellowstone County. Yellowstone County is the epicenter of the pandemic in Montana. The Montana Department of Public Health and Human Services has linked cases in Yellowstone County to 13 other counties and 2 Indian reservations.
Felton also addressed a couple of other issues. Because of a backlog in getting test results, they will only be testing asymptomatic people at the Shrine Auditorium tomorrow, but will continue testing people with symptoms or who have been identified through contact tracing. He also said the increased cases are putting a stress on public health workers and that many people are refusing to cooperate with the contact tracing.
If each of our current 440 active cases has just 5 close contacts, and I can assure you that is on the low end, that means there are at least 2,200 people that either should be isolated if they're ill or in quarantine for 14 days. This means they're out of the workforce and unable to participate in their preferred summer activities. It is the action that each one of us as individuals take that will ultimately save our community from more sick people, more grieving families, more lost jobs, and more closed businesses.
Felton says we would see a positive impact of people wearing masks in just a couple of weeks if everyone adhered to that directive. That's kind of a big if, because a lot of people are simply not wearing them. Jeanelle?
All right, Q2's Russ Riesinger, thank you so much. Well, the city of Billings today backed up the governor's directive. In a press release, the Planning and Services Department says it will enforce that all employees and customers wear masks, social distance, and maintain minimized capacity in the buildings. Most meetings will be scheduled by phone or video conference. For physical enforcement of the governor's directive, we look to law enforcement. In Yellowstone County, well, the handling of these cases will be the same as during Phase 1. Billings Police Chief Rich St. John says officers may document cases but will not be writing citations or summons. Police take their directive from the county health officer and county attorney. Sheriff Mike Linder feels the same. Officers' time will be spent on going after criminal activity, and both law enforcement leaders say the main response will be education. But businesses do have the right to ask someone to wear a mask, and that could change law enforcement response if someone does not cooperate.
That takes it out of the mandated mask situation and puts it into a trespass. So we will deal with that. We will ask people to either mask up or give them the opportunity to leave, one or the other, but the potential for arrest for trespassing in those situations is there. So again, the whole thing can be totally avoided if everybody is, just very, very good about putting masks on when they're going inside anywhere that's open to the public.
And the chief says people have been cooperative during the COVID-19 shutdown, and officers have not had to write citations for not complying with health orders. Well, the governor's order is in place for all counties with 4 or more active cases. Now, one of those counties right on the edge, Broadwater, has 5 cases, and not everyone is in agreement with the state mask mandate. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian reports.
Shortly after Governor Bullock announced a statewide mask mandate that would apply to Broadwater County, Townsend Hardware announced on Facebook that they would be complying with the directive and requiring customers to wear masks. Owner J.B. Howick says the posts got an immediate reaction.
Generally speaking, quite negative. A great number of people are upset that they feel like they're being forced to wear masks.
Howick says before the mandate took effect, he saw a mix of customers wearing masks and choosing not to. Since then, he says he's had to remind some customers to put one on, but most have been willing to do so. While Howick is following the order, he says he's still skeptical that a mask mandate is needed in Broadwater County.
I do not doubt the danger and potential harm the virus can cause, but we have only 5 active cases in a county of 6,000 people. That doesn't particularly seem like a threat.
The governor's order also drew sharp criticism from Broadwater County Attorney Corey Swanson. He said he believes requiring masks will undo progress they've made in encouraging people to wear them voluntarily.
So my concern was that if we have a mask order, it's actually going to be a step backwards because it's going to overly politicize the issue.
Swanson said sheriffs and county attorneys told the governor last week that they're already overextended and it would be difficult for them to enforce a mask order. He said he's also concerned people going from county to county may not have a clear idea of where it does and does not apply. Though he's critical of the order, Swanson said he's still hopeful people in Broadwater County will be willing to wear masks.
If we're going to have people that are just saying, well, I'm not going to do it, you can't make me, my request to them is going to be, do it not because we tell you, do it please because we ask you. Do it because we think it's the prudent thing to do right now.
In Townsend, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Thanks, Jonathan. The governor's office tells MTN that Bullock did take law enforcement concerns into account when drafting the mask order and that enforcement should be focused on educating the public, except in cases of egregious repeat violations that put the public at risk. Well, despite the mask mandate, Montana's Big Sky State Games is set to get underway tomorrow evening in Billings, but coronavirus is already forcing a change with opening ceremonies. Originally, Olympic mountain biker and Montana native Sam Schultz was slated to be the torchlighter, but he will not be attending due to his girlfriend exhibiting COVID symptoms. Both he and his girlfriend were unable to obtain test results in a timely manner. So to be safe, Sam is passing his torch duties to world bareback champion Deb Greeno. The games are set to kick off tomorrow night at Dallas Stadium. Those gates open at 6 p.m. Now, the games do have updated safety guidelines, including all spectators must wear masks. For more information about the games, log on to KTVQ.com. Well, Democratic Governor Steve Bullock has shown himself to be an impressive fundraiser in his challenge of Republican Senator Steve Daines. But Daines is no slouch either when it comes to raising campaign cash. And in Montana, U.S. House race Democrat Kathleen Williams continues to hold the fundraising lead over Republican Matt Rosendale. Now, Daines reported this week that he raised $5 million in the past 3 months. That pushes his overall re-election campaign total to almost $13 million. And he had $17.1 million left to spend as of July 1st. Now, Bullock raised $7.7 million during the same period and has $7.4 million left on July 1. In the House race, Williams has raised $2.4 million so far and had about $1.6 in the bank. Republican Rosendale's campaign has racked up $1.9 million in fundraising so far and had $1.2 million left to spend on July 1st. Now, recent polling shows both races are expected to be very close. Up next on tonight's Q2 530 News, a story about the millions of women veterans and the concern that they're not getting the same recognition as their counterparts. Plus, in sports, Casey Conlon hits a hole-in-one with a story about a Billings golf champion.
And coming up in weather, it was a hot day today, and guess what? We're going to do it again tomorrow, and we're not alone. So what's coming up after that? We'll have the answer coming up in a few more minutes.